Okay, section 1.4 and some of 1.5. We're first going to start with formulas that we need to know, and the first one is going to be our slope of a line. So that one's going to be m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if you're taking this course, you're not going to have formula sheet for your test, so you want to make sure you know these formulas. Point slope form. Does anyone remember point slope form? Y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. Good. And then we have our slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where b represents the y-intercept. Okay, so our very first problem on this is going to be practice finding the slope when you're given 2 points. So given 2 points, we're going to be up here using this formula. So take a few minutes, plug in your formula, and solve for slope. Okay, so you want to write your formula down. If it helps you to label the coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2, you may do so. Then you simply plug them in. Right here, we want to recall that minus and negative will simply get you plus and plus, so then we just have simplifies to 2/4, which then reduces to a slope of 1/2. Okay, now we move, we're given conditions and we want to write an equation. First of all, we need to know where we're going. Point slope form. So when you see that, you want to write that equation first. So we get the formula for point slope form. So y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And we want to start plugging pieces of information in. So the important things, we're given a slope, which is our m, and we're given an x and a y value. It's a point, so it's this value and this value. So substituting those in, we get y minus, what is y1? The y value of the ordered pair is going to be 2. What is our slope? Our slope is given right there, is -2. X minus, and what is our x? 7. Okay, for just writing that down, that's our point slope. We would just stop right there. Now, as a side, oftentimes you're asked to take that to slope intercept, and we'll probably do that a little bit later. But basically, you would take this, distribute it out, and then solve for y equals if they ask you to go further to the slope intercept form. Okay. But in number 3, we're going to pass through 2 points, and we want to write an equation in point slope form. So for point slope form, we need a point and we need a slope. Well, we actually have 2 points. They did not give us a slope, so what's the first thing we need to do? Find the slope. And then the second thing, does it matter what point I use? Does it matter if I use the 0.42 or does it matter if I use the 0.37? No, if we do all the math correctly, they're both going to be valid answers. So for point slope form, we need a point and we need a slope. And first thing we got to do is find a slope. Okay, so it took a few minutes. I wrote my formula down. I plugged in my values, and I found that my slope is going to be 5. Yes, -5. So this is a -1, this is a negative, a negative. Okay, so we got -5. Careful with your signs right there. It makes you do all that work for nothing. So now we're going to pick a point. I can either choose this point or I can choose this point. Just because it's the first one up, we're going to work with the 0.42. So write our formula. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. y1, we said we were going to use this point, is going to be 2, so you get y minus 2. Our slope we found to be -5. X minus, and then x1 that we use is going to be 4. So this is our equation in point slope form. Number 4, we're asked to go to slope intercept. Always pay attention to where you're going. I know I'm going to y equals mx plus b format. That's where I'm going. but what they have given me is a slope, a point and a slope. So to start, I'm going to use point slope form, and then I'm just going to work my way back to slope intercept. So y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Y1 is 2. Our slope was given to us, and it's 2. And then that's going to be minus a negative 3, so we just get plus 3. Now this is point slope form, but it asks us to go to slope intercept. So what we want to do is distribute this out and then solve for y equals so that it's in this format. So we'll take a few steps to do that. Distribute, and then solving for y, add 2 to both sides. We conclude that y equals 2x plus 8 is slope intercept form. The next thing, we're going to graph the line whose equation is given. There's a lot of options. We can make a table, plug in values for x, solve for y, plot the ordered pairs. But since we just learned about slope intercept form, you can see y equals mx plus b, where this is your slope and this is your y-intercept. We're going to use that idea for this equation. So what is our slope for the given equation? Negative 3 over 4, and then the y-intercept, which is the b, is going to be negative 2. That's also noted as the ordered pair 0, negative 2, because remember it's the y-intercept. So don't forget, if they ask you to write as an ordered pair, that's the case. Now, let's recall slopes and graphs. This is usually noted when we're dealing with graphs. What's that? Your rise over your run. You remember that? Yeah. So it's your rise over your run. And what happens if we rise a negative? What's that mean to do? Just go down 3 to the right 4. So we always want to start with our slope-intercept. So you go to 0, negative 2. That's where we start. And then we apply this slope. So we want to go down 3, right 4. So let's see. Down 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you would put another point. What is an option that I have if I ran out of room or run off my graph? I could be here and I could do positive 3, up 3, left 4. Let's do that. So up 1, 2, 3, left 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, you have that flexibility, and then you would just do the best to draw a line through those and connect those. All right, we have a special case. We have an equation of just x equals negative 4. There is no other variable here, so it's a special case. It says everywhere the x value, everywhere x is negative 4. So what we would have here is this vertical line. Now, what is the slope of a vertical line? Undefined, and a good way to remember that is like up, down, undefined. Slope, up, down, undefined. Okay? And if you were calculating a slope, an example of that would be something like if you got the fraction 6 over 0, because you cannot divide by 0, so then that would mean it's undefined. So that's kind of an example if you were to do points, 2 ordered pairs, and you got that value. The next one is our special equation, y equals negative 3, and that's a special line, which is going to be a horizontal line at negative 3. It's not the best horizontal line, but y equals negative. What is the slope of a horizontal line? 0. Slope is always 0. That's a little bit better. Slope of a horizontal line is always 0. So those are your two special cases. If you were doing 2 points and it's simplified to be like 0 over 4, that's what that looks like.